Hello, I want to play a game. Would you watch the supposed final installment of a blood-dry franchise while paying $3 extra a ticket for 3D? Does your nostalgia trump your practicality? Live or die. Make your choice.
Saw 3D. But at that point, I wonder what it's called when it's shown in 2D. It has to be called something else. Does anybody know? Seriously? So Saw 3D is more of what you've been familiar with from the past 6 Saw movies. I mean, gore, death, and really clever traps. When I first saw the first Saw, say that 3 times fast, I thought to myself, this is the Riddler as he should have been. And in that, I've always enjoyed the traps. So if you've kept up on the Saw franchise, you know that the one carrying the torch is Hoffman. A big knucklehead of a dude who's apparently clever and rich enough to create these really convoluted traps. Now the first Saw was pretty clever in that it had actually a couple of twists in it, be it bad acting, but a couple of twists. After that, I think 1 or 2 have had some sort of a twist or something, but in all reality, it is all about the traps, baby. And we all watch these people in these movies trying to solve these traps, but in reality, we're all thinking the same thing. Come on, fail. Fail. And you know they're going to. I mean, even on a filmmaking aspect, they're not going to build this big elaborate trap for you and have someone actually solve it and be like, oh sweet, it all worked out, no one died. And there is a lot of failure and gore in Saw 3D. But the thing that makes me laugh is at the beginning of every Saw, there's a trap scenario and someone's gonna fail. You know, just kind of someone has to die to kick it off for us at the beginning of every movie. And in this one, it's because of a love triangle between 2 dudes and a chick. I mean, seriously, in Saw 6, you took on the CEO of a health insurance company and now you're like, those teenagers in that love triangle, they need to be taught a lesson. I mean, like it would matter to Hoffman. I mean, that kind of backslide just makes me laugh. Now, you could honestly bitch about the character changes that they do in the Saw movies and the loopholes that they have to have in these movies. Like, I think it was Saw 4 or 5 or something like that. John Kramer's wife found out what he was doing and she hated it and she was just like, this is bullshit, I'm leaving. And now she's down with it and she's like this methodical villain or some shit. Weird. It's a little inconsistent, I think. But it is Saw and it's not made for story. It is made for one purpose, and that is death traps, well, followed by death. I mean, pretty much this movie feels like a best-of compilation of horror traps. It's like there was a scriptwriter and a guy whose sole purpose was to think of death traps and bring them to the scriptwriter, and then at a point the studio just fired the scriptwriter and had Mr. Death Trap guy just write the whole thing. And the 3D in the movie was actually pretty good. I mean, there were a couple of times they used it really well. I mean, not as well as Jackass 3D, but, you know, I think that statement might be the saddest statement I've ever actually said on my show. So I would say that Saw 3D is the best Saw since John Kramer died. So from like 4 through 7, best one. I mean, it did its job well. The death traps, some intense shit in this movie. I was gripping the seat, you know, just standard Saw protocol right there. So I would say among the plot holes and the character changes that, I mean, the Saw franchise just loves to do, and the fact that Saw is pretty much like 24 in that sense that when you introduce a character, just know that that guy is just really not going to last that long. He's going to die. So given all these, for what it is, Saw 3D is actually a good time, no alcohol required. For what it is. If you go by yourself, you'll probably hate it, but if you go with a friend where you can, like, you talk about what you liked about it and then bitch about what you hated about it, it's pretty fun. But if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, then click right here to see more.